Welcome back to the AL.com film room. I'm Matt Scalisi here with John Parker Wilson, our Alabama football analyst. And today we're continuing to take a look at Alabama's big win over Tennessee from last weekend. We're going to focus on the defense today. Alabama's defense, overall, pretty good performance against Tennessee. They gave up 20 points, but mostly held Tennessee in check. One of the things we're going to take a look at today is how Alabama performed on third down in this game. We're ultimately able to get some stops, but they kind of looked a little bit shaky at times, especially on 3rd-and-long in this game.
Yeah, it was a tough spot for them in the game, but I think overall they played really well. I think Joshua Dobbs came out and played was a pretty good game, and I think he's going to be a future quarterback to watch out for. But I think overall the defense is playing better, getting better, and continually to improve each week. Take care of the third downs, some missed tackles, and I think we're be where we need to be headed down to LSU.
All right, so we mentioned Josh Dobbs and the performance he had in this game. Really surprised a lot of people, particularly with his athleticism. We're going to see a play here where he made a big play against this Alabama defense.
Yeah, he really did a good job all night of throwing and running. A lot of athleticism coming out. Right here, we've got him at 3rd and 9, right where you want them. Great opportunity to get off the field. Very low chance of them converting. And I think we do a good job on defense. And I think the only thing Coach Saban would say about this is, one of our best linebackers just missing the tackle. This is just a case of wrapping him up. But at the same time, he does a good job of breaking it. Big-bodied guy that's going to be able to do this. We'll see him, just shed off Tide&apos tackle right here and get upfield for a big play. But I think this is going to be getting back to fundamentals. This will be a good thing for this week during the bye week of getting back and talking about form tackling, talking about these things, because it should have been a tackle for loss. He was just able to bounce off and get some extra yards.
So another 3rd-and-long situation here. Alabama has Tennessee 3rd and 13 here. And we just see Josh Dobbs make an amazing play. Did Alabama do anything particularly wrong here that led to this?
No, I think right here we'll just see, once again, Dobbs just making a play. I think we do everything right, a defensive point of view. We get pressure up front for the defensive line, and you see this tough pass. He's getting hit as soon as he's thrown it. And then good coverage from the secondary. I think this is just a good throw and catch. As much as we want to sit here and try to find out what we did wrong, I think this is a case of them just making a better play. Showing the athleticism and the accuracy of the quarterback, stepping up in a big-time situation, 3rd and long. You don't expect to convert a lot of these, and he's doing a good job of throwing the ball.
So we're going to look at Tennessee's first touchdown of the game here. A nice throw from Dobbs to Josh Malone, a young wide receiver. One-on-one coverage here for Tony Brown, the true freshman cornerback for Alabama. Let's talk about this play for Tony Brown just in terms of a learning experience and how do you get better at things like this?
Yeah, we've seen this before. This is the first time we've seen it this season, and I think it's just us understanding that we're going to be attacked like this. Down here on the goal line, it's a very popular play that you see throughout the country, and you'll see him have really good coverage. So it's a thing where you got great coverage for over the top, but it's going to be a great thing to practice during the bye week of defending the long ball, but at the same time having to read the receiver, adjust to the back shoulder. By far the hardest thing for a cornerback to cover, and it's the quarterback and the receiver aren't predetermining this. This is just something they read, so it's something you got to keep practicing. He's a young guy; he'll get better, but at least now we know that I think offenses are going to try to attack us in this manner.
All right, another example coming up here of Josh Dobbs making a big play with his athleticism and in particular kind of forcing Alabama out of what they would traditionally be doing defensively just because of how athletic he is.
Right. I think, we saw him time and time again make plays. And I think right here we're doing a good job of getting upfield on 3rd and 8, forcing him out of the pocket. But he just does a good job of, making a pump fake and getting underneath. But I think this is great for us to see. We're going to see it later on in the season. So this is live game practice against a mobile quarterback. And we're going to see the same thing out of Mississippi State and Auburn. So this is live game reps. We can go back and look at it on tape and kind of find out different ways to attack it. Are we coming too fast up the middle, a little more contained? Because I think it's just good practice. We hate to see them give up 20 points, but at the same time, we're learning a lot in the process.
So one more play we're going to take a look at here, the second touchdown for Tennessee. Tennessee's able to do some things here with their formation that sort of confuses the Alabama defense a little bit.
Right. We've seen this before. It's a bunch formation with switch releases, and we'll see the receiver come over to form the bunch formation right here. And once the ball is snapped, they're going to make it difficult on the defense and change their releases, which we call switch releases. So at this point, it just comes into communication from the secondary, which kind of breaks down right here and is able to. This is why they score the touchdown. We see the guys, all go in different directions. A guy deep, a guy coming and sitting underneath, and then a guy to the flat. We got 2 guys underneath and nobody in the flat. So it's the communication, the adjusting to the bunch, and this is something the defense has spent a lot of time on, is adjusting to the bunch. We'll see it formed right here and see every receiver go in a different direction than when they're pre-snapped aligned. And then just get two defenders locked inside, and the quarterback does a good job with them. But this is just pre-snap communication. And, this is why we see a lot of teams on offense motion and shift. It just adds another element, another layer that the defensive has to cover. This time we don't do it, so something we have to improve on, because it's not the first time we've seen it this year.
All right, we're going to try something new on the film room this week. We're going to take a question from the comments section and ask John Parker. So we've got one from SEC or Bust here, a regular viewer of the film room segments. He wants to know how much more cerebral of a quarterback has Blake Sims become this season. I'll sort of interpret that as meaning, how have you seen him develop just in terms of his understanding of what's going on out there and his decision making?
Definitely. I think Blake has grown so much from the spring game to the start of the game till now. Not only his decision making, but his playmaking ability. Early in the season, we saw him just throwing and kind of running. This week against Tennessee, he's knowing when to read downfield and know when to pull it down. So that's definitely part of the cerebral aspect is knowing when to throw, knowing when to run, and having that game experience that he's developed now. It's part of the growing process, and the more games he gets under his belt, the better he's getting, and that's what he's showing us. He's just getting better and better, and I think they're putting him in good situations. I think Coach Kiffin is not getting enough credit for the game he's calling, the way he's doing things, because it's getting better and better, and we see him going into Tennessee and putting up that many points. It was great to see. SEC or Bust, we appreciate the questions. Keep them coming, and we'll try to do this every week.
Yeah. That's it for this week on the AL.com Film Room. Join us next week as we get you ready for the Alabama-LSU game.